How could our king climb up the steep step like this? Actually, there are 4 staircases around the temple. 3 from the north, south, and east are fake ones. We call blind steps. Good morning everyone. I am Mao Sukhaim, a local guide for Angkor Wat based in Siem Reap and in Phnom Penh. I am here standing on the terrace of the elephants. This terrace of the elephants is exactly located right in front of the gates of the former royal palace. But today we don't come to show you more detail of this elephant terrace, just a little bit of information to all of you. The idea of coming today, I would like to show you the former royal palace that located behind this terrace of the elephant. So follow me, I will show you more. Right now I am standing here right in front of the royal gates. This is the most important gates facing to the east. There are 5 gates originally, 2 gates at the south wall and 2 gates at the north wall, smaller ones. But this is the bigger one. And the palace compound surrounded by the lateral wall. It is 250 by 600 meters. It's a rectangular size. And what is inside this royal palace, what we can see inside this building, have a look together. Everyone, whenever you walk through the front door, the front gates of the royal palace, do not forget to have a look at the window frame at your left hand side. It shows you the detail of the inscription. This is the old inscription, roughly about late 11th centuries, that mention about squaring the earth. So back to the old day, before minister, government official holding position, they need to square the earth in front of our king. They need to be honest and loyal and do good to the people, love to the people. So this part of the cultural rules still continue using until today in the modern time in our government today. After the national election, so they all meet our king in the palace and they square the earth and they promise that they need to be good and need to be honest and loyal to the people and to the king, to their country. Signature. The area behind me is the former foundation of the royal palace. Together with some more buildings were built surrounding this area. They were the buildings of priests, the building of the religious people, together with the concubines. But all of the buildings now have gone because palace and wooden buildings was built by wood. During this place was a former capital city. There were many invasions from the neighboring countries several times. Cham, Siam, Cham people in 12th, 13th century, and later on a small minority group called Siamese in 13th, 14th, 15th century. They came and invaded our capital city, our country many times. So whenever they came, they destroy mostly the infrastructure, burn down the royal palace. So later on, our king tried to rebuild this capital city with the palace. And in 1500, we abandoned when the KHMER Empire, when the great civilization had declined and collapsed. So we abandoned the city and we moved and finding the new capital city. So this area were overgrown by vegetation. No one used this place anymore. That's why you don't see anything else in here, only stone building today. Some years ago, the excavation happened around here. So they want to search and learn the history. That's why if you come around here, you don't see wooden palace, wooden buildings anymore. Only the broken ceramics can be from tools, can be from tar roof that made from clay, because the building built by wood and cover the top of the wooden building. We use clay tiles, and the rest you can see many on the ground. If you walk around, you see a lot of broken tools that used for the daily life back then during this place was the royal palace. And next to the royal palace, there is a private temple. This temple used privately by our king and royal family, and this temple we call Vimyenakas, means sky palace. This building was built in mid-10th century by King Rajendra Varaman, completed by King Soya Varaman. So it means this temple more than 1,000 years old. It's a private temple using by our royal families. It is located right in the middle of the palace compound. Let's go to see this Vimyenakas temple. Because this temple, Vimyenakas, is a private temple for our king, there was a very famous story in late 12th centuries. Chutakwan, he was a Chinese envoy, Chinese ambassador. Chutakwan, he was a Chinese envoy who came to Angkor Thom in the year 1296, and he lived here more than a year, 1297. So he left Angkor. So when he was here, he was told by local people around the city that this temple used for our king sleeping with the snake. So scary when you hear this story. So it means that he was told by people that before our king could go to sleep with his concubine, he always climbed up to the temple every night, sleeping with the snake before he go and can sleep with his concubine. If he missed one night, terrible disaster, terrible problem happened in his capital city, Angkor Thom. That's a story, very famous story. How could our king climb up the steep step like this? Actually, there are 4 staircases around the temple. 3 from the north, south, and east are fake ones. We call blind steps. The reason that we have blind steps is for supporting the foundation, because the temple is quite steep, quite heavy. But the real step located to the west. The west step is not steep. So that's where our king used to climb up and down every night. Let's go to have a look at the west step. That's not quite steep. Anh đang chỉ đào cái cháu đó. Cái bên chỉ đào phật để chỉ đào phật. Whenever people come to such a holy place, temple, they always burn incense, offer to the temples. This is the real step where our king and royal families go up there to worship on the top. It's about 45 degrees, I guess, but the fake ones is about maybe 50, 55. Yeah, but this is the easy one. It's not quite steep, and the staircase is wider, easily to step on it. But the fake one, the staircase is quite narrow because it's blind, it's fake, but this one easy up and down. But at the moment, because of the poor condition of the top and quite small temple, and the old of the temple is quite old, that's why we don't let people go up there. First, sometimes it...
Then we make a new stair. Oh. Oh.
Some years ago, the authority closed it on the temple. They don't want any people to climb up on the top. First is the temple is quite old, poor condition. Secondly, to avoid, to protect. Secondly, protecting visitors from falling down. In case sometimes people may do selfie and then taking picture, they forget to watch the step. Sometimes they can fall down and badly hurt, die. And then of course, protection is better than cure. That's why recently we closed the third floor. No one are allowed. The temple designed with a pyramid shape and with 3 levels, and the foundation made from laterite. And then on the top, gallery around the 3rd floor made from sandstone, and with the one tower located in the middle. Based on the history, Chu Taquan, again, he was a famous Chinese writer, Chinese invoice. He lived here more than a year. He also heard that people call this temple Golden Towers, Viminaka Sky Palace. That's the story behind. The reason that people call it Golden Temple because on the top, because on the towers, on the top of the temple, the tower was painted by gold colors. You can imagine how beautiful it was when it was active and it was used as a temple back then 1,000 years ago.